I thought we were done talking about Avatar from last week. You said you watched it with your kids. Wasn't that great? But you want to bring it up again?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit
Let's
about
do it. Let's do
Avatar,
it.
The
I like
Last
it.
Airbender, the live action Netflix show. Number one, it just goes to show you how good the animated one was because me and the kids are starting to go back to watch the animated again. And we're just like,
Yeah.
me and my son, I think after his basketball game today, we actually started looking at some old videos of Avatar and looking at the voice actors. And then we started debating who's your favorite character and why. And so it's like Avatar storytelling is just so rich. That's why I say, okay, number one, it's nostalgia, right? It's been over 20 years. So a lot of this generation, grew up watching it, or now, like me, they have kids and they showed them the storytelling. And a lot of these folks are just new to this storytelling. I just remember Mr. Benja when I think it was one of the first ones we went to Comic Con and we were in line. I think I was in line for 7 hours or something. I think it was by myself. I don't know where you were, and I was just sitting there. We were just waiting in line to get in Hall H. And then the topic of Avatar came, and I think I had just recently watched it or watched it not too long ago.
Okay.
And man, we spent about at least 2 hours talking about Avatar. And this was in what, 2000 and what, had to be what? I just got married in 2008, nine. And that was 10 years ago. People were like deep diving. Now imagine now, man, the levels of the depth that the Avatar has reached. So just to go on the show that some content is just everlasting and just increases in time, and Avatar is like that. So when you have a live action or a movie, crappy movie that came out, you're gonna see this bubble up of energy across the internet. And so I think that's why the discourse is, I don't know, have you noticed the discourse out there on social media about what people are saying?
So what I'm hearing is almost like people are getting tired of the knee jerk kind of, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. Oh, it's booty. And like with Avatar, it's like, hey, check it out. I liked it. I thought it was good for this. As far as live action goes, it's great. I enjoyed stuff from the movie, and this is better than that. There's no need to call it a worthless pile. So what I'm saying is I'm getting a much broader range of whether they hated it or loved it.
You talking about the original or the new
This
live
this
action?
Netflix series, this new
Okay.
live action Netflix series. So I'm just hearing the talk on it. I'm like, okay, this is a little but I sense an evolution in the conversation, which makes my heart leap. Unlike the
Didn't
you
know
know,
if you
Star
care, Mr. Benja.
unlike the Lucasfilm great fan base wars of 2018 after Last Jedi came out. But this
I'm so
conversation
hyped for the Acolyte, though. I hope the Acolyte comes out as
the
baller from Star Wars. I hope that comes out as good because, yeah, we need some good Star Wars stuff. But anyway,
as I said, Star Wars is like pizza to me. It's all good, even if it's bad.
anyway, it's an Avatar. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Nostalgia hit. So I think that was my knee jerk reaction to your point. Me and the kids were watching the first episode, and we were just like, "Oh no!" It's like you take that first bite of pizza, and it doesn't go well. You're like, "Oh no, this is not good." But I think I was just reacting to just it was so beloved, right? And it has
Mhm.
gotten so much more beloved over the last years. And even my kids and I were like, oh, I don't know, because the CGI was a little wonky, that casting, we had to settle in. But then what happens is, you start really, okay, I said, okay, let's just accept it. And then I said, okay, they got some of the themes right, which is really important with Avatar, right? The more mature themes about war,
Mhm.
about responsibility, about genocide, deep concepts that kids in a kid fashion, and it has some funny moments. So to me, I was like, okay, they're trying here. And then the casting at first was off, but once you get into it, you say, okay, I see why they cast this person. And one of the big things was powerful was the representation. Albert Kim, I guess he's shepherd this kind of storytelling. He's the showrunner. I forgot where he came from or what movies or TV shows he came from, but he really went all in. And I think we're seeing now there's a lot more representation in Hollywood from all types of actors, and especially recently within in the Asian community. He said the Fire Nation represents specific Southeast Asia, so Thailand and the Philippines. The Earth Kingdom was countries like China, Japan, and Korea, and the Indian subcontinent. And so very purposeful in how they populated the different nations inside the Avatar to
Mm.
represent. And the Water Nation is indigenous people, right? You're gonna see a lot of Native Americans, right, in that role that of the water tribes.
Yeah.
So very powerful story to have that representation. And so that's something I definitely applaud because I think most of their voice actors were mostly white in the TV show,
Oh,
cartoon.
okay. the cartoon. Let me ask you this: If you s- when you watch a property, it's become love to you. You like it, you follow it, or whatever, and then you find out that it's supposedly about a certain political stance, social stance. It's got a certain message to it. Does that make you enjoy it more or less, or depending on if you agree with the message or not? But does that affect your viewing or feel of it a lot?
Absolutely. I get an example, perfect example. Me and the kids talked about it too. We watched She-Ra, the Princess of Power, right? I don't know if you remember that came out on Netflix a couple years back. So
Yeah,
we
yeah, we
watched all of it, and yeah, we liked it, but it was clearly agenda around, which is nothing wrong, but it was clearly agenda about acceptance of gay and lesbian lifestyles, right? Which is
yeah,
fine. But it was so obvious. It was like between her and Catcher, right? She-Ra and Catcher, right? Will they or won't they, right? Catcher knew what she wanted. She was confused. That's basically, and then at the end, they kissed. And so it's okay. This is so it's which is fine. As a parent, I don't have a problem talking to my kids about
the
you
messaging
need
was,
to know.
you mean, is that
Yeah, it was just like,
yeah,
why shoehorn this? It just let it
yeah,
happen
okay,
natural. It was like the whole thing of Catcher was that she was a jilted lover from the very beginning. So it was baked into the cake as opposed to organically evolving. And then you had
yeah,
things like I forgot the character of Bo, he had two dads. I was like,
yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
anyway, I digress. But yeah, so that's that I don't like that. Let it happen organically. I'm trying to think or Lightyear. Lightyear was the same way. They had the whole thing there.
You know what? I was some people it's weird, man. There's the way storytelling is, some people really look for that. They expect it in certain ways. And I'm just talking to more people about what they get from a story and what they don't care about in the story. And it's fascinating to me how much people really like there are a lot of people going into a movie looking for a lecture. They literally want a lecture with
Mm.
some costumes and dressing on it. And that's just not where I'm coming from. But I was like, because I was listening to a discussion on Starship Troopers, and I was like, oh, okay, sure, there's all this in it, but maybe they made this guy look crazy like this because of X, Y, and Z. Uh, yes, he does bear a striking resemblance to this guy, but I don't know how deep it went when. So I'm just like,
Yeah. You made me think of Don't Sip Your Juice while sitting in South Central. You remember that movie,
yeah,
that
yeah,
crazy parody movie?
yeah,
Message. Someone said something. Message.
yeah.
Yes.
Some people come
I
for that, man.
guess, man, to go that's what school's for, man, and books. I don't know why people need to go see that in their entertainment. But to me, I like movies, not so much a message movies, but just more of a experience. I don't like there's this new Hulu show or not Hulu or FX show called Shogun. They're gonna take you to feudal Japan. I've never
Right,
lived in
right.
feudal Japan. So now they're gonna give you a taste of that. And that's what I like to see in my entertainment. Entertaining story, but take me to a place and help me understand the culture. That is exciting to me, but not a moral lesson stance. When you say message or lesson, it's like you're taking a stance. So basically, I believe people should be like this, and I don't want to be dictated to, right? Show me, don't tell me, right? Show me why this may be a better way of living, right? As opposed to another way. I don't know. It's that show versus tell, I think.
Message.